Hi, I'm Rob and this is Gems of War. In this video I'm going to give you my opinion on what is good and bad in the Soulforge, what's worth crafting and what's more useless than an ejector seat in a helicopter. But first things first, let's pop to the shop and take a look at the weekly event troop, Natureborn Hunter. Now these only cost you some of your glory, so if you have some excess make sure you grab one. And if you have enough glory and you are capable of doing it, make sure you get this all the way up to Mythic level. This, when you get this troop powered up to level 20, is going to give you bonuses on your kingdoms, which in the long run is going to be a extremely worthwhile thing. So let's take a look at what it does first. Uses green and blue and 12 mana cost. Create one elemental star, plus one more for every 3 green allies, and plus one more for every 3 green gems. If the enemy has a beast, gain an extra turn. The traits gain 1 life for each green ally, reduce damage from scars by 33%, and create a green gem when my turn begins. So that bottom trait is going to work pretty well with the spell. Now this is not bad. My first thought of this is this could be actually pretty decent. So create 1 elemental star as standard, plus 1 more for every 3 green allies. So this uses green, so presuming you have at least another 2 green allies in your team, that is going to be a second elemental star, and then plus 1 more for every 3 green gems. Let's say there's a base amount of 9 green gems there, so that's going to be 3, 4, 5. That's going to be 5 elemental stars. That is going to be a lot of mana in general. To put this into context, I saw King Heliodor here. Now, this is a base legendary troop, and this does a good amount of true damage as well, yes, but it then knocks someone to the back and then creates 3 elemental stars. And this is a base legendary. This can easily create 5 just straight away. And if you have, say, even like 12 green stars there, that's going to be 6. That is going to be a hell of a lot of mana. This could be a really good troop. I'm going to give this a initial first impression of 7 out of 10. I was teetering on 8, to be honest, because I think this could be really, really good. Right, anyway, that's a superb troop there, I think. In a green team, could be really, really good. Elemental stars are underused in the game at the moment. Not a lot of people use them, but when you're creating that many, this could be a extremely good mana generator. I like you, Natureborn Hunter. Well done, lad. Anyway, so grab that up to Mythic level if you can. And whilst you're here, you may as well grab some Spoils of War if you have any excess glory left over. You're allowed to get 10 of these per week, and the good thing about these is you get extra gold, extra souls, and the event keys, which are the best thing here. So you may as well spend some of that spare glory. So let's take a look at the weapons first. First up is Nature's Star. This uses green, 9 mana cost, remove all the brown gems with no effect, so can be handy against a team that relies on brown when you don't use brown yourself. Then deal magic plus 5 damage to an enemy, boosted by the gems removed. If the enemy is from Nexus, or if the battle is in Nexus, deal a double damage. So you do need to be fighting a Nexus team or a battle in Nexus to get a decent amount of damage from that. But yeah, that image of that star there, that reminds me of the things I used to try and make in metalwork at school a long time ago. I used to get a couple of bits of metal, sharpen them up, put them in a cross pattern, and you made a ninja star, as we used to call them, and then found a bit of wood somewhere or a tree, threw it at it from a few feet away, and you were chuffed to bits if it stuck in there and didn't fall out. You felt like you were actually a true ninja. I can't be the only one that done that. Please tell me I'm not. Anyway, next weapon up. I'm not going to go through all these ones that are here all the time, because these are in other Soulforge videos. Thorn's Blade is first up. Deal magic plus 4 damage to an enemy, boosted by green and elemental allies. 14 mana cost. And that doesn't sound like that's particularly great to me. That sounds like more a collectible kind of thing. The boost ratio is ×3, but still it's not going to be that great. No chance of an extra turn, no mana cost. Yeah, nothing fantastic about that. Vulcan's Mace. Deal magic plus 7 damage to an enemy, boosted by Nexus allies. Then create a mix of 6 red and brown gems for each Nexus ally. Now this uses brown and purple, which is interesting. Not all of these weapons generate the same colour as the weapon mana requirement itself, but this one does. So this can actually self-charge, which is quite handy. So if you have other red and brown allies on your team at the same time, and from Nexus, then this could be a really good mana generator and steady damage dealer at the same time. So I quite like that. Vulcan's Mace, pretty decent. Ocea's Tome, what a fantastic weapon this is. Love this weapon. Explode 4 gems for each blue ally and each elemental ally. So that doesn't sound much on paper when you read it. You think, is that it? Yeah, but it's, you think about it, you've got 4 blue allies. That's already going to be 16 blue gems exploded. That's usually going to be the full amount straight away. And you can mix and match. You can have 2 blue allies with 2 elemental allies, and you're still going to explode 16 blue gems. That is almost always going to be all the blue gems on the board, which is going to be a lot of mana gen. I love Ocea's Tome. Absolutely superb weapon. Recommend that one completely. Chryster's Scythe. Stun all enemies and then create 3 elemental stars. So, yeah, not bad. Stunning is a good effect, but then you are relying on those elemental stars to generate some mana. It's not always going to work fantastic, a bit hit and miss. And that, again, shows how good that Glory Troop was earlier I spoke about, and that's why I rated it so highly, because this creates 3 elemental stars where that troop earlier, Natureborn Hunter, whatever he was called, can generate 5 or 6 elemental stars really, really easily. So, yeah, not bad, but not fantastic. Trick and Treat is here all the time, as are these Curse Breaker weapons, which I've reviewed in other Soulforge videos. So now on to the troops. First, Mythic. Oh, these are all jumbled up. What's going on there? Normally the legendaries are at the top, and then... Well, maybe it's because Mythic is really a legendary, or she should be. It's a bit rubbish by today's standards. It was a really early Mythic. But yeah, by today's standards, a Mythic exploding all gems of a chosen colour and summoning an Infernal King, and that is a spell that is pretty lackluster. Nothing fantastic about that. The traits are, again, pretty lame. All daemons gain 2 attack and life at the start of each turn is the best one. But yeah, Mythic, a little bit naff. I used to like it as an early player, but this was one of the earliest Mythics that I got, so it was made to look good because I didn't have many other good troops at the time. But now, just do not use it at all. Still handy though for that exploding all gems of a chosen colour, because you can choose the colour which basically you want the most and is most prevalent around the screen, so you can get a lot of mana gen from that. And an Infernal King is a decent legendary troop at the same time, so it's not diabolical, but it's not fantastic either. Sorry, Abby. Zathanos is here all the time. Megavore. Very, very good troop. I remember the first time I read what this thing does, and I thought that had to be a typo. Eliminate all armor from all enemies. I was like, what? Are you serious? And then deal a load of damage to an enemy, and then submerge itself. So, as an armor stripper for just taking away all the armor from everyone, really, really good. But one of the best things about this is that bottom trait, absolutely superb. 80% chance to kill the last enemy on 4 or 5 gem matches. This makes this fairly popular in Guild Wars, makes the opponent nervous. If any time you give the opponent a 4 match, you're on tender hooks, as that 8% chance might come in, and that's the sort of thing that Guild Wars likes to do now and again. So, a good troop just to be used by the player and an attack team, and a good troop to use in Guild Wars as well, particularly because of that third trait, making everyone nervous every time there's a 4 match. Megavore. I'd like Megavore. I'm going to craft this later because I do not have this at the moment. Next one up is Mother of Darkness. Strange troop. Does work really well in certain teams. Deals a decent amount of true damage to an enemy and the enemy below them. So no good attacking the last enemy in this unless you're really desperate to hit them, because you're only going to do damage to that single troop. Boosted by purple gems. 1-to-1 ratio, and if the enemy dies, create 12 purple gems. So to make the most out of this, you have to make sure they die as well, and that limits what you can do with it. Otherwise, if that doesn't happen, summon 2 Sisters of Shadows. Now the weird thing about that spell is this is normally going to be in a true damage team, because a lot of teams you want true damage to work with each other, which is a good way of doing it, because otherwise you're doing the true damage, then with other troops you're doing normal damage, which doesn't make the team flow properly. But Sisters of Shadows deal normal damage, so you're going to summon two troops which do normal damage, which is going to then not blend with the team properly. It's a bit of a strange kind of extra part of the spell, really. But as a filler, just to fill in a couple of gaps where you may have lost some troops, then obviously if they're just there as punch bags, even that is better than nothing. So not bad, but it just doesn't synergize particularly well with the spell itself. The traits are not too bad. Summon a Dark Storm when an enemy dies, so that's not going to be activated straight away. Cannot be targeted by spells unless there are no other targets. And inflict bleed on all enemies when matching 4 or more gems, which is a true damage. So not bad, and does certainly work in a few teams to a very, very good effect. Who else we got? Piscea. Giant piranha or something, but fishy. Destroy all green gems. And that's with full effect, as if they were matched. So that is already good straight away. But then create blue gems equal to the number of green gems destroyed. So this is a hell of a good mana generator and creator of blue. You can actually get a load of mana from this. Do like this troop for that alone. But then there are two independent 30% chances to devour a random enemy. Now when that works, this can make it in this thing out of control really quickly. And I do like it, but I'm just not a particular fan of these 30% chances and any percent chances to do things, because it's just hit and miss whether it works or not. But in a certain team, this can work so well just by that first part of the spell that the Devour can be just a bonus. The traits: submerge myself when I take damage, reduce damage from skulls by 30%, and give 4 attack to all blue allies when matching blue gems is not too bad either. So Piscea is pretty decent, but a little bit luck dependent on that, but a hell of a mana generator when used in the right team. And that is the 4 Mythics. Piscea, Mother of Darkness, just got to go over them again because they're all jumbled in with the legendaries, Megavore and Piscea. So yeah, now just quickly go over the legendaries quick. Don't recommend crafting these with your hard-earned diamonds. These are going to show up in normal chests way easier than a Mythic will. Kerberos. Damage to an enemy with a 40% chance to devour them. Again, if you feel lucky, pretty good. Bit of a punch moment when it works, because it doesn't always work, even though it's only 10% away from being 50-50. Again, luck dependent if it works, and if it does work, then your team can be well on its way. Wrath. Very popular in Guild Wars, in Skull teams. Transforms blue to brown and yellow to skulls, and enrage all allies and burn all enemies. So enrage is good, especially when the thing is up top, because this is where it is a lot of the time. And enraged, you do extra damage, and can start demolishing through opponents really quickly. So Wrath is a very good legendary troop indeed. Unlike Krampus, I don't think I've ever seen this thing in a team, literally ever. What a stupid troop. Not easy to look stupid. I mean, what's going on with that look? I ain't got a clue. But anyway, deals damage to an enemy, so that's the good bit, that is guaranteed, and submerge them, or devour them, which could be really good, or transform them into a daemon and knock them to the back. So you could either munch them up or transform them into a potentially mythic demon. What? I don't know. That's not the sort of spell I'm ever going to be casting. I literally cannot find a single use for this thing. And yeah, unwanted gift can give you a very much an unwanted gift yourself. So literally not much point to this apart from being someone there for someone like I don't know, someone to devour in your own team to make yourself more powerful or something. But apart from that, absolutely silly. Obregonia. Sounds like a plant, really, doesn't it? Oh, look at your Obregonias. Aren't they looking pretty today? Anyway, deal damage to all enemies and inflict bleed on them. Pretty decent. That is a nice amount of damage to all enemies, and bleed is true damage, and it can stack 4 times, which can be significant over time. And the traits are pretty handy too. Gain 2 life on 4 or 5 at gem matches, deal 1 damage to all enemies when I match skulls, and bleed a random enemy when matching green gems. So Obregonia, our plant sounding dragon thing there, is actually not bad at all. And is that it? That is it. So now to the moment you've all been waiting for. Not. The my mythic pick of the week. Who's it going to be? So who we got? Piscea. I like Piscea a lot. I really do. Very good in many teams. Mother of Darkness. Pretty decent again. Very, very good in a few specialist teams. But Abinicia, no. But it's got to go to Megavore. Eliminate all armor from all enemies. That is superb. Then deal a significant amount of damage. Then submerge itself. So we'll be safe from spell attacks which target the whole team. Really, really good. Just if you can get that going, you're just going to do so much damage on the first cast. Obviously, after that, its job is kind of done, really. But it still can be useful and get that 8% chance to kill the last enemy on 4 or 5 gem matches. But I do like Megavore. I like it so much, I'm going to prove it. I'm going to craft it right now. And there it is. So we've done the Soulforge again. I'd say Megavore, definitely the best pick out of the Mythics. And from the weapons, my favourite there this week is Ocea's Tome. Really good, but also that Vulcan's Mace is very handy too, particularly in the way that it self-charges at the same time. So there it is. If you enjoyed the video, found anything useful, be sure to bash the hell out of that like and subscribe button, but don't bash it continuously because you might subscribe, unsubscribe, and that'd be rubbish. So yeah, just do it once, gently, in a controlled manner, and I'll catch you again next time. Thanks for watching.